let us stand and let's sing our green page, Let the Way of the Heart. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love, right beating as one. Light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love, our hearts are beating as one. Light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love, our hearts are beating as one. Light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun.
Good morning, everybody. My name is David Burke, and I am your trustee on duty today. On behalf of Reverend Donna, the Board of Trustees, and our wonderful practitioner team, I am privileged to welcome you to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are truly welcome here. Here you will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you were meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action every day in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. On the back of your program, you will find our Declaration of Principles. Please join me now in reading them. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. Do we have any first-timers here today? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Brian and David from Helena, Montana. I asked Bobby if I could come to church.
Oh, well, thank you. We're very appreciative that you're here. Please stick around and talk to us, get to know us after. And
My name's Randy, this is my wife Tracy. We're traveling from Minnesota to visit Dan and Jackie for the week. Jackie is my mother. So Appreciate all the warm welcomes this morning.
Yes. So Jackie's still making you go to church then? Well, it's wonderful to have you. Anyone else? Okay. We invite all of you, the newcomers too, to stay after, enjoy the refreshments, and get to know us. And we're a pretty cool group, so I think you'll enjoy. I would like to thank all the people that made the Sunday celebration possible. First of all, it's all of you sitting in the chairs. Yesterday was men's breakfast, and I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but, you know, we said one of the special things about this center is when you walk in the door and the feeling that you get and the love that's in this room for everyone. Doesn't matter your political affiliation or religious background. Everyone just cares about each other here, and that makes this very special place. So just wanted to mention that. Please direct your attention to the announcements that are in your bulletin. If you are watching online, please visit cslaz.org for our announcement and calendar events. And please silence your cell phones.
The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you. And you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. Wow, I think every seat is full. It's wonderful. Just wonderful. About a year ago, the Board of Trustees designated a separate practitioner fund for the practitioners, for which we are very grateful. There are several ways this fund can grow, and during April, we want to share with you about that. One popular way we receive contributions is when a person has asked for prayer, experienced a demonstration, and decides to send a check with a memo stating for the practitioners. That's very important. We appreciate all contributions and are currently looking at creating a retreat in the fall. So now, I light this candle. Representing that beautiful, beautiful light that's just shining. You guys are so bright. So for our invocation, let's settle into the precious spiritual beings we are. Breathe in, say to yourself, I am an individualized spiritual being. And relax into the knowing that our spiritual center is here to love and guide us into a new way of thinking and being. Here we learn how to pray for our desires, how to start each day anew, how to forgive one another, and how to celebrate this one precious life. Today is a good day to have a good day. We create our lives from the aspects of Source with love, peace, and community spirit. In appreciation for Heather, our practitioners, and Reverend Donna, together we say, and so it is. The other announcement is today is Miracle Moments, the first Sunday of every month. All practitioners with their stole on are available to pray with you after service. Please don't be shy. It fills our heart to be able to pray. So good and bad. This month, Donna has chosen the theme, the fourfold way, which is discussing different aspects of humanness in ourselves. We'll learn more when she shares with us. One aspect I'd like to share about is our approach to two separate angles in life. We frequently label things good or bad, good and evil. These are our human points of view. I'm sharing this from the wisdom of Reverend Petra Wells. Things are not good and bad, but thinking so makes them. Emerson, Shakespeare, and Holmes all agree that good and evil are labels we place on things from our human point of view. Ernest Holmes talks about things that we prefer and things we don't. We can see that things are labeled bad or wrong in one culture, one family, or for one person, but that may not be the case for another. This reminds us that this has everything to do with perspective. Losing a job may seem bad at the moment, but in the long run, we may realize that it was a huge blessing. In many cases, the problem is not the event itself that happens. It is, in fact, the way in which we respond to the event, the way we allow it to define our lives, and the way in which we make choices out of the experience. If we experience illness, or loss, or lack, we can become victims of it, which then makes a bad or evil experience. Or we can declare that something good will come out of it. In declaring that good must come from this, whether it's next week, next year, next month, sets a new cause in motion. In that moment, the declaration becomes impressed into the law, and the law must find a way to make it so. Isn't that fabulous? I mean, even when you're in the midst of something bad, you can declare it to be good. Did we need to experience that bad, evil thing to have the good come about? No. We can learn and grow just as easily from healthy, good, and happy experiences. For me personally, when I was early in recovery, I remember making the declaration after realizing that my bad life was accepted and are created by me. It was painful to realize I hurt myself that much just to learn an important lesson. So I declared I was going to learn from healthy, good, and happy experiences. However, we can always take good from every experience. We can always declare that good must come of this, and it will. That way we choose to turn any situation that appears to be negative or hurtful into something that ultimately brings good about our lives. Again, and declaring that good must come from this sets a new cause in motion. In that moment, that declaration becomes impressed into the law, and the law must find some way to make it so. Remembering also that we are free. We can close ourselves off from the experience of good, shut down the avenue through which this good comes to us, turn away and only look at, expect, and see the negative, and that is, of course, what we will experience. And that leads us to the one good that is truly good, the experience and presence of God, as the ultimate fulfillment of everything we have ever desired. When Emma Curtis Hopkins declares, "There is good in the universe and I ought to have it," she is not speaking about something we value as good or label morally good. This good, with a capital G, is the good that lifts us up, that satisfies our longings for self-expression and personal fulfillment. Ultimately, the best good we can find or fill ourselves with is God. It is very important to realize we did not necessarily create every bad thing that happens to us. We are, however, always at choice about how we allow those things to affect us. So the question is, what choices are we going to make out of life's experience? And what truths are we going to believe about God and life because of them? Namaste. Thank you. I'm going to take this candle and hold the high watch and await your prayer requests.
Worthy soul vermeden, worthy soul. 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 Looking through the eyelash of the wolf like a window into their hearts. Use the fear within thyself and transform it into love. Ooh, little child, don't you wanna have a bigger world? Ooh, little child, it's a great big place. Every person has a lesson if you only stop and look now. Through the eyelash of the wolf, through the eyelash of the wolf, through the eyelash of the wolf, through the eyelash of the wolf. Take the breath of the forest trees and always keep it in your heart. You got a lot more strength than you know. You keep it in eyelash of the wolf, through the 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 eyelash of the wolf. Where are these souls, fair maiden? Where are these souls? Where are these souls, fair maiden? Where are these souls? Where are these souls, fair maiden? Where are these souls? It's called The Wolf's Eyelash, an original song. Thank you. Namaste.
We've got a new theme for the month, and as you've already heard, it's not from home office. But I thought that since Earth Day is in the month of April, and since we see so much of Mother Nature's handiwork and the flowers here, Paul's talking about, flowers this high in his home, it just seems like it might be a good time to honor the beliefs and ideas from our Native American brothers and sisters. As mentioned, our theme is The Fourfold Way, and it's the title of a book by Angeles Arrien. Dr. Arrien was an anthropologist, author, educator, and corporate consultant, and she was known worldwide for her lectures and workshops that showed the bridge between cultural anthropology, psychology, and comparative religions. Her work reveals how indigenous wisdoms are relevant today to our lives, to our relationships to others, to our relationship to the earth, and to our spiritual journey. So according to Dr. Arrien, there are 4 archetypal paths that, when balanced, create in us a sense of peace, personal empowerment, empathy, and compassion. And they are the way of the warrior, the way of the healer, the way of the visionary, and the way of the teacher. The way of the warrior, which is our topic today, asks us to show up and be present so that we may extend honor and respect both to other humans and to the planet. The way of the healer reminds us to pay attention to what has heart and meaning. The way of the visionary encourages us to tell the truth without blame or judgment. And the way of the teacher is to be open to outcome, but not attached to it. So we're going to explore each one of these paths for the next 4 weeks and maybe find some Native American wisdom that we can incorporate in our own spiritual practice. So the way of the warrior. I have said before that I do not like the term warrior because it conjures up warring and fighting as a way of being in the world. When I first moved to Florida, they were having, the Christian religions were having this huge thing, and it was called spiritual warfare. And I thought, what an oxymoron, So I've never liked that. But Dr. Arrien is using it as a definition of true leadership, and that has almost nothing to do with physical strength. The warrior shows up and is present. And to show up does not simply mean that our body is there. It means that we come to any situation totally focused, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And we all know what it feels like when we're not totally present. We're not mentally present when we're thinking about something else and then drifting in and out of the conversation. We're not emotionally present because we're carrying anger or resentment over an earlier unpleasant encounter. We may not be at peace in our soul, so we are not present spiritually. And when we are experiencing physical pain, like a headache or backache, we may not be totally physically present. So you and I know when we're not all there. We know that. And we know when others aren't present for us. So when you and I choose to show up energetically with all 4 levels in balance, we express the power of presence. And according to Dr. Arian, the developed warrior expresses the power of presence through honor and respect for all things by employing, we're going to talk about these, judicious communication, setting limits and boundaries, being responsible and disciplined, and by demonstrating right use of power. Honor is the capacity to confer respect to another individual. And the term respect comes from the Latin word respiciere, which means the willingness to look again. So the warrior is willing to take a second look at a situation or an individual. When we are willing to look again, we can stay open and flexible to ourselves and others. And when we look beyond the immediate situation, we find the gift of both resolution and transformation. When I was in Florida, no, it was Los Angeles. When I was in Los Angeles, I worked for an architect, and there was an assistant architect that I don't know what we did, but our personalities clashed. We did not like each other. And one day, I found him at his desk with tears in his eyes. We were the only ones in the office. And he told me that he had found out that his youngest child had been diagnosed with leukemia, and the prognosis was not good. And he cried in front of me. And from that point on, all of those old emotions broke. And we became so close. When he needed to break down, we would go out together so that he could be strong for his family. What a gift he gave me. What a gift. So when we resist any situation, we're resisting our own expansion and evolution. By having this clash with John, I never saw his loving side. I never could crawl into his heart. And I was able to do that. And we all have that capacity. When we expect things to always go according to plan, we're going to be disappointed a lot. But if we hold on, and if we hold on to that expectation, we miss all the alternatives. You know, we may be just as good or better than our original plan. I can remember Reverend Peggy Bailey saying, you know, I always go kicking and screaming to my good. You know? Because we're holding on, this is my good. And then there's something better. So when we're expecting things to go a certain way, we're collapsing all the other possibilities. So our ability to be flexible will keep us open to those other possibilities. The skillful warrior who knows how to extend honor and respect then begins to value the art and craft of communication. The effective leader is consistent in word and action. According to Dr. Arian, there are 2 causes for all misunderstandings: not saying what we mean and not doing what we say. When we say that we mean, and when we say what we mean and do what we say, then we become trustworthy. We have an authenticity about us. Mahatma Gandhi once said, happiness is when you think what you say, that when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. And that's how he lived his life. You know, in 1931, Gandhi traveled to Britain to attend the Round Table Conference and influence the British public over the plight of India under the British rule. Gandhi arrived at the meeting, which was also attended by press and members of parliament. Here was a man with perceived no power. He appeared frail, dressed in simple robes with no political office and no wealth. He spoke for nearly 2 hours without notes, and he mesmerized the members of that cabinet. After the meeting, a reporter asked Gandhi's assistant how he was able to speak so powerfully for 2 hours without notes. And he replied, "You don't understand. You don't understand Gandhi. You see, what he thinks is what he feels. What he feels is what he says. And what he says is what he does." What Gandhi thinks, what he feels, and what he says, and what he does are all the same, so he doesn't need notes. You and I think things that sometimes may be different than what we feel. So what we say depends on who's listening. What we do depends on who's watching. It's not so with Gandhi. He needs no notes. Sometimes it's consistency when we're trying to practice all of this. Sometimes it's consistency in word, thought, and deed. It requires self-reflection and self-care. How many of us have made a commitment at the spur of the moment and then later regretted making that commitment? Oops. When we say yes and we're inwardly thinking no, we set ourselves up to be victims of our own making. I loved what Melinda said. When our words and our actions are in harmony, we are trusted by others and we come to love and trust ourselves. This increases our level of happiness, confidence, and our overall sense of authenticity. I've told you about my friend, John V., who was a practitioner at Agape, and she was a fabulous teacher, and I would often call upon her to step in and speak on a particular subject. But she never once said yes. She would say, "Let me pray and I'll get back to you in the morning." And that was kind of frustrating to me at first, but I learned that when she did say yes, that I could trust that response completely. I could trust that she would show up, be fully present, and give everything she had to that class. Dr. Arian mentions right use of power as a quality of the warrior. When we come from integrity, when our speech and actions are in alignment, when we have honor and respect for all, then we're automatically empowering ourselves and others. She says we can check ourselves by asking whether our motivation, speech, appearance, and actions match our true character. When our words and actions are in harmony, wisdom, character, and authenticity emerge. So I believe that our struggle for meaning and for purpose in our life is directly connected to this intertwining of character and authenticity. On a spiritual level, the attributes of God, love, truth, beauty, joy, harmony, peace, abundance, are the attributes in us that allow us to express our highest character. And authenticity, then, is the expression of these spiritual attributes in all the things that we think, say, and do. Another story of Gandhi tells of an American reporter, I think we all know this story, who came rushing up to him at his train window and asked breathlessly for a message to take back to the world. Gandhi scrawled some words on a piece of paper and handed it back as the train pulled out of the station. And that paper read, "My life is my message." Our life, too, is our message to the world. And maybe a question we should ask ourselves, if my life is my message, what message am I sending? Do I reflect the way of the warrior? Am I spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically balanced so that all of me is here and present? Do I honor and respect the situation and those involved? And if I feel that I am lacking in honor or respect, can I stop, take a breath, look again, and see through the eyes of love? Do I value the art and craft of communication? Are my word choices, my tone, and my nonverbal body language all saying the same thing? We might say, "I'm fine," when somebody asks how we are, But are those words accompanied by enthusiasm and a smiling face? People know we're not telling the truth when our facial expressions and tone of voice indicate that something is wrong. So rather than saying, I'm fine, when we're not, we might say, I have some issues, but I'm working through them and I'm going to be just fine. Another question, do I thoroughly think through a possible commitment before I say yes to it? And if the answer is no, can I say that without guilt? There's a beautiful scripture where Jesus says, yes is yes and no is no. You don't need anything else. He says anything else is evil. You know? So basically he's saying if you have to have an excuse attached to it, that's coming from ego. Yes or no is a full sentence. If I've made a commitment that I regret, can I honestly admit it? You know, remaining in a situation that brings resentment does nothing for ourselves and it does nothing for anybody else. And I think I've told you this story when my friend became the minister at the Miami church. Her husband would come in early to make coffee, and at one point he started to resent it. And she said, then don't make it. When people see we are without coffee for a week or two, somebody else is going to come forward. And that's exactly what happened. In fact, several people got together, formed a committee, and it was not only coffee, but they had snacks and sometimes lunch. You know, they did all kinds of stuff. And my final question to ponder today with all of this is, am I empowering others through my words, deeds, and actions? In her book, A Return to Love, Marianne Williamson writes, we were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. This is what happens when we show up, become present, and practice the way of the warrior. Thank you.
Ooh, show up. Oh, I want to show up as love. Hold the door open for everyone. Fill this room below to above. I want to show up as love. I want to show up as peace. See no other as the least. Listen more than I speak. I want to show up as peace. I'm here to make the best of it, to give a lot and take a bit. Show up, ooh, show up, ooh, I want to show up as truth. What you get is 100 proof in all I say, in all I do. I want to show up as truth. I want to show up as joy, like a child with a brand new toy. Share it, spread it, fill the void. I want to show up as joy. Show up, I'm here to make the best of it, to give a lot and take a bit. Show up, as peace. Show up as truth. Show up as joy. Show up, yeah.
So this is a time for our offering to set that law of circulation in process. So please join me in our offering affirmation. For those who are new, it's on the left-hand side of your bulletin. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you so much for your generosity. It allows our center to be an important little beacon in this neck of the woods, not only for us, but for the community as well. So thank you so much. So let's close this portion out in prayer, and then please join us for refreshments. And especially if you're here and you're kind of newish, please stay so that we can get to know you better, okay? Thank you. So I know right now that there is one mind. It's the mind of God. There is one intelligence. It is the intelligence of God. There is one life. That is the life of God. And this mind, this life, this intelligence is who and what we are, a magnificent expression of the divine. And as I choose to see life as good and very good, then that is reflected back to me in ways that are surprising and wonderful. I speak my word for everyone here that they feel the blessings of this day and of this week. And I speak my word for anybody who is having any kind of a discomfort in however that shows up. And to know that right where that place of unpleasantness appears is the power of God. And that power and presence is renewing that situation right now. I give thanks for the opportunity to be here as part of this incredible spiritual family. And I simply know that we are blessed beyond measure as we say together, and so it is. Thank you, and may we stand and sing Stand.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be